Your competitors out there have active founders. OpenAI has Sam, xAI has Elon, Meta has Zuck, and Microsoft has Satya. Are you willing to kind of share your perspectives on those four competitors, both the companies and the leaders?
Look, it's obviously by definition, it's a very impressive group, right? And I think you're talking about some of the best companies, some of the best entrepreneurs, all that. Look, it shows how both how much progress we are going to see, because you're basically talking about many people who are working hard to drive that progress.
Right.
So to the earlier question, when you were talking about, are we going to see progress? The answer has got to be yes, because of the unique types of people here pushing progress, right? So look, each of them, they're different people. I'm fortunate to know all of them, and I think maybe only one of them has invited me to a dance, not the others, right? But I spent time with Elon maybe 2 weeks ago when I talked to him, and his ability to will future technologies into existence, I think it's just unparalleled. So look, these are phenomenal people. I respect all of them. There's partnerships involved, there's competition involved, but if I were to step back and say, at the end of the day, I love, driving technology progress in a way that impacts people positively. When you think about areas like healthcare and other important areas, education, and, we are now talking about this, why AI is so profound. So the opportunity is what excites me. I think all of us are going to do well in this scenario. That's how I think about it.
Right. And much of the narrative, and I think probably the fact around the ability to deploy AI at scale, is one that is predicated on availability of electricity. Mm-hmm. Even Elon, and I've been talking about this for a while on my podcast, but Elon this week is saying, hey, I need a terawatt of compute. Terawatt is roughly the power production or the electricity production capacity of the entire United States. US is going from 1 to 2 between now and 2040. China's going from 3 to 8. And there's probably upside given all the new electricity production technologies that they're rolling out now, which will be additive to that. How much is electricity generation going to play a role in who is going to economically benefit from AI over the next 10 to 15 years? And where's the US compared to China? And maybe where's Google?
Well, look, you're definitely hitting on, what is, when you look at any system, you want to find where the constraint is, because that's what gates the whole system. And you are rightfully identifying the most likely constraint for AI progress, and hence by definition, GDP growth and all that stuff, right? So I do worry about it a lot. But, the answers are, sometimes you run into challenges which are, you have to solve. You're running into physics barriers or something like that. This is not a problem like that, right? We already know the technologies that can work to supply the demand we need. So it's more to me an execution challenge, right? I would phrase the energy problem as it's obviously multifaceted, but I think be it really embracing. We shouldn't have innovator's dilemma in the energy sector, right? So we should lean into all the possible innovations ahead. And there are many of them. Obviously, first of all, people perpetually, I think, will underestimate solar, right? Solar plus batteries will end up being huge. Obviously, the amount of innovation that's going into nuclear, geothermal, all of that are opportunities to embrace, and it's more I'm not mentioning. But I think, upgrading the grid, solving for transmission, permitting to make all of that progress faster. And then actually, I think we may be workforce constrained, to my earlier point, right? I think we are all, if you look at the number of electricians leaving the workforce versus suddenly all of us, and you project out this demand, there's a huge mismatch, right? So literally how do you make sure there is incentives and workforce development to address shortages like that over the next decade? will end up being important policies. I think we are fortunate, people like Secretary Wright and Secretary Burgum. I mean, they are very, I think, deeply aware of the issue, and I think they are hitting the problem hard. But I definitely think it's solvable, but I think we all have to put our mind to it.